Imagine you're getting ready to work on a big project in your business. There's someone sitting next to you who says, "Wow, this is going to be so much work. How will you get it all done? You don't even know where to start. It's going to be so hard. Are you sure you even want to give it a try?" In my opinion, thanks, but no thanks. That is overwhelm. Needless to say, overwhelm impacts productivity in profound ways. Overwhelm is an incredibly common human emotion. Left unchecked, though, it can wreak havoc on your personal and professional growth. It can also prevent you from reaching your goals and unlocking your potential. Today, I'm sharing more about what overwhelm is and three of the most common ways that it impacts productivity. So, what is overwhelm? Well, psychology today defines overwhelm as a feeling of being buried or drowned beneath a huge mass or feeling defeated. It's a feeling or emotion that you have more to deal with than you can handle. At its core, overwhelm is a defense mechanism. It happens when your brain takes a look at everything that you're being asked to do and says, thanks, but no thanks. The instinctive reaction to overwhelm is to shut down, walk away so that you can preserve energy and resources. That made a lot of sense when, for example, a human felt overwhelmed at the idea of hunting as night fell thousands of years ago. Better to wait until morning, right? More light, easier hunt, fewer predators on the prowl. However, that defense mechanism isn't always as helpful in today's 21st century world. While overwhelm is a natural reaction, is it the reaction you want to carry forward? Is it the place from which you want to make decisions about how you spend your time and energy? For most, the answer is no. While overwhelm is a totally normal experience, buying into it can secretly wreak havoc on your time management and productivity. Let's take a look at three ways that overwhelm can impact your ability to get things done. First, overwhelm can prevent you from getting important prep work done. Creating plans takes time, energy, and cognitive work. Sounds like the perfect place for overwhelm to pop up. I can't tell you how many clients or just people in general have told me that they feel totally overwhelmed at the very thought of defining their goals and creating plans to achieve them, or planning and scheduling out their time for a day or a week, or doing the cognitive and emotional work to overcome limiting beliefs and pursue personal and professional growth. The interesting thing is, just about every person I've talked to agrees that those things are important. Setting goals and creating plans, planning out your time, doing the work to grow, change, and evolve as an individual. Everybody agrees that those things are important, and everybody that I talk to wants those things for themselves, yet overwhelm shuts down progress for many of them. In terms of overwhelm, the brain might see these situations in this way. For example, the brain might think about defining a goal and feel like that would be really scary. The brain could think about creating a plan to achieve a goal and think, wow, that sounds exhausting and like it's going to be a lot of work. The brain might think about prioritizing tasks and think, wow, that sounds like it'll be difficult and ambiguous. And then it might think about creating a schedule and think, that sounds like a lot of work that's probably just going to get changed anyway because things aren't going to go to plan. And finally, when your brain thinks about changing how you think, feel, and act, those can feel like such big, big changes. Again, all of those things, all of those thought processes prompting the feeling of overwhelm. And for many people, overwhelm is the natural response for those kinds of thoughts. Shutting down is what comes next. It's easier and more comfortable in the short term to shut down. And that's what the brain often subconsciously chooses. As a result, some people don't clearly define their goals. They don't make plans to achieve them. Forget about creating a schedule and putting in the work to change your mindset and grow as an individual. They give in to overwhelm, and so sadly, it shuts them down. Another way that overwhelm impacts productivity is by encouraging people to procrastinate or engage with distraction. So here's another lesson on the brain. By default, the human brain generally wants to feel good. Makes sense, right? We want dopamine. We want to experience positive emotions. Overwhelm? Not exactly considered a positive emotion that feels good in the brain. In fact, overwhelm usually feels pretty uncomfortable. What's the brain's answer to that uncomfortable feeling generated by overwhelm? Seek out positive emotions in the short term. Procrastinate by avoiding those difficult, overwhelming circumstances. Get distracted by social media or food or books or anything else that creates those short term hits of dopamine. In other words, escape overwhelm by trying to feel good in the moment. If you respond to overwhelm by buying into it, leaning into that feeling, and going with it, your brain is going to push away or try to escape from whatever circumstances are causing you to think and feel overwhelmed. Instead, it might push you toward procrastinating or seeking out a distraction instead of facing the thing you're feeling overwhelmed about and working through those thoughts and feelings. Clearly, if you give in to that in the long term, that can be incredibly detrimental to your ability to manage your time effectively and get things done. By the way, I don't mean to imply here that feeling overwhelmed is wrong, because it's not, or that you should always try to do something every single time you feel overwhelmed. Rather, the idea is to understand what causes the feeling of overwhelm, notice overwhelm when it comes up for you, and then consciously decide how you want to respond when you do experience overwhelm. Third, overwhelm can impact your productivity by blocking you from making progress on tasks and goals. Whether you're at the beginning of a task or project or in the middle, overwhelm might come up. As I said earlier, the emotion of overwhelm doesn't feel good in the brain. What can immediately relieve that state of not feeling good? Walking away, giving up, and allowing progress to stall. If you're no longer asking yourself to work on or complete the task that has been overwhelming you, the overwhelm feeling usually fades, at least temporarily. Your brain gets instant relief from not feeling good because you've stepped away from the situation that was causing you to feel overwhelmed. Of course, if you give in to overwhelm repeatedly, it comes at the expense of not making progress toward your goals. It might even cause you to abandon a goal altogether. Interestingly, the instinct to escape the negative feeling of overwhelm in the moment can actually lead to more negative emotions later on. If you stall on or walk away from a goal that matters to you, other negative emotions might come up as a result. Things like regret, disappointment, frustration, self-criticism, or even self-contempt. In essence, you end up creating relief from short-term discomfort in the moment, only to experience long-term discomfort down the road as a consequence. Overwhelm is a common human emotion, and it's normal to experience. However, left unchecked, it can seriously impact your productivity and your progress toward your goals. To recap, here are just 3 of the ways that overwhelm can impact your productivity. It can prevent you from completing important prep work. It encourages procrastination and distraction. And finally, it can stop progress on your tasks and goals in its tracks. If you struggle with overwhelm in your business or personal life, here are a few things to know. First, overwhelm is normal. Second, it's possible to overcome. And third, you don't have to do it alone. As a neuroscience-based time management and productivity coach, I work with people like you one-on-one to help them identify and overcome their hidden barriers to effective time management, such as overwhelm. Once my clients learn to navigate the mental and emotional side of business and life, they get more done, feel more fulfilled, and ultimately make more money. If that kind of support sounds awesome to you, schedule a free call with me. We'll talk about where you're at right now, where you'd like to be, and how you can get there. I look forward to speaking with you. Hey, I'm Amy Shield, time management and productivity coach for small business owners and solopreneurs. Thank you so much for checking out my video today. I hope you have an awesome day. Bye-bye.